you told me over email you have 3 employees and how much ARR right now?
We're closing in on $1 million.
Okay, so you're closing in on 1 million ARR, 1 million annual recurring revenue, and you're trying to get to what?
30 million with just the three of us.
Yeah, so you're trying to, and how long have you had this business for?
So we launched Swan around 6 months ago.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So in 6 months, and this is with just tons of automations.
It's we're going to talk about it, but it's basically about cracking the code on human AI collaboration. It's not about automating ourselves away. It's about discovering the 100x version of each of us within the company by using AI agents.
And all right. So right now, we're seeing on your screen your impressions since okay for the year.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
correct.
So
We're on
5 points.
5.6 million. We can see that
This is
top
your impressions
performing.
on LinkedIn. Yeah, your top performing posts.
Yeah, we can look at more posts here for a second. And we can see that it's pretty consistent.
Can you show recent posts?
Mhm.
And all of these posts, they're made with AI. What level of human reviewing is there?
Oh, so it's everything like our approach is very human centric when we talk about AI, when we use AI. So it's not like they were made by AI. It's all about collaborating. So I have an idea what I want to write about, and then I go to Claude, and I have basically founder-led marketing project, which has all of my, a lot of different posts that I really loved as inspiration. It has a lot of, what does it mean? Basically, when I talk about Swan, what is the system of action? The villain that we have, the product and vision description. It has all these, different types of content pieces that it draws from. And it has like a very, well crafted prompt in which how I want to work with it, basically in a collaborative manner. There's like the workflow itself, the some creative process guidelines. And see, as you see, it took me a lot of time to actually really refine how I want to work together with it. And then I can just, I can show you how I work. Let's
I want to see
find.
more results before we see how it's done. So like if you could share your recent cuz I when I looked at your profile, you were getting this level of engagement, it looked like on like all of your posts.
That's correct.
So can we see some like recent ones?
Let me pull up. Um, yeah, so this was like 2 months ago. Um, So 50 plus VCs reached out to me over the last months, and we weren't even raising. Turns out we're not chasing deals. They're bracing for a correction. Here's what they see coming and why the VC model is about to break itself from the inside. Um, 515
Wow,
likes, 130
67,000
comments.
impressions. Can you show like your most recent, maybe your third most recent one because that one would have had time to get impressions.
Yeah, but I actually had to stop in the last month. So we're doing kind of like a regroup and a relaunch of my entire marketing strategy. So it's just, the time to actually look at the posts are like around 45 to 60 days from now.
Okay, that's fine. Even one of those I'd like to see.
So let's just go back.
This is so cool though.
So I have, let me just find it here for a second. So this is like one
Look
month
at look at
ago.
those numbers.
So this was like 30 days ago.
Yeah, 1 month.
So it was about Clay's latest fundraising, and about how they're trying to promote, the GTM engineer movement. But actually, I dug the numbers up, and it's not what they say it is. So it was super interesting post, and there was like over 1,000 likes, almost 500 comments, 34 reposts.
Oh
And
man,
actually,
100. Wow.
between the ratio between the engagement and the impressions is actually low relatively to other posts because there was like tons of engagement, but relatively to the amount of the engagement here, this is a low amount of impressions.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah, no, it's interesting just to see that.
Um, and so are you active on other channels?
No, mainly LinkedIn is my social
Are
media.
you, I see that you only have one pending request for like
Mhm.
how, are you automating that? This method of marketing is so effective, I had to make sure it wasn't against Google's rules before I kept doing it. It's a form of SEO I call compact keywords. Whereas most SEO focuses on putting up articles to answer questions how, what, when, compact keywords focuses on putting up dozens of pages that sell to searchers who are actually looking to buy. These pages rank on Google and convert so much better than normal that when I discovered this years ago, I couldn't believe this was allowed. It's less work too. The average compact keywords page is only 415 words. Compact Keywords is a 13-hour deep course on getting sales with SEO. A customer recently said, "Each lesson is dense with information. You're giving years worth of experience boiled down into 15 to 30-minute lessons with no filler or fluff. I feel like I'm gaining a new superpower." Compact Keywords is about setting up an SEO funnel that brings you sales for years and years and years. It works with AI, it's less work than traditional SEO, and it makes way more money. You can get it now at compactkeywords.com. Back to the podcast.
So basically, I have an agent so in Slack that basically goes over every new invite that I have and analyzes it and then categorize it into different categories, and based on different categories acts differently. So if it's an investor, then it will just basically start a new conversation with something super shallow, like "Thanks for sending the invite." If it's a non-relevant invite, it will basically will not engage. Um, and let's see if there's anything else. So if it's in the CRM already, right? So it will also perform a different action. So we're looking at someone who was actually in our CRM. They're fractional CFO firm serving high growth startups and scale ups. We already have extensive record of their company with multiple contacts, etc. That was mentioned, but they didn't have a direct contact record until now. Recent activity, you had your last email interaction with them on September. So I get all the context that I need here from the agent. And when I go actually to LinkedIn, what happens is that I already,
You're a
if I
busy man.
click here, yeah. So if I go here and if you look at the messages, so you would see just a ton of people just
Crazy.
basically waiting to hear
So
from
it's so it's
Sun. It's
working.
like
So it's working.
it's
Your LinkedIn automations are working.
yeah, they're working too. It's too good basically. This is from the last week, basically, right?
And
Um,
LinkedIn is how you're driving customers to Swan,
yeah, correct,
just with organic.
correct, just organic. Our CAC is you can say zero, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, excellent. And okay, so you've shown the results. This is cool. And how do you think you can scale up to 30 million? Are you going to be doing more marketing channels?
Yes. So basically, the entire notion behind the autonomous business model, which is the model that we're trying to create, basically, where it's an alternative model to the unicorn growth at all costs startup model, where you raise a ton of money before you even know what you want to do. I did that twice. Okay, so you raise a lot of money before you get product market fit. You get to like 30, 40 people before you get to your first $1 million in revenue. And then each round, you grow your vision and total addressable market rather than your real metrics. And it creates a really unhealthy company in that sense. And what we're trying to do is to rewrite the playbook of how you scale a company from day zero, basically. And what does it mean to really design a company that is architectured from the ground up for human AI collaboration rather than human to human coordination? And part of that is to look for these high margin, exponentially that can grow exponentially marketing channels, and basically to double down on them and to find these unique areas of growth for the company. So it's not only about using AI, the autonomous business model is also about that exponential lean growth, right? So part of it is to find these channels, and social media is an amazing game, and we're doing a lot of founder-led marketing. So all the founders are gradually participating in that. And another channel that we're trying to cultivate
Your other
right
two
now
founders,
is
because you have 3 people total. Okay. Wow.
exactly, yeah. Additional channels are podcasts and sharing our story with the world. Another one is partner-led motion. So actually working with partners that could benefit from selling Swan to their customers, marketing agencies and lead generation agencies, etc. So we are collaborating with them, which is also an exponentially high ROI marketing channel.
Can you show how you actually set up these automations before we talk more about how you're scaling?
Yeah. So the way we do it basically in the company is that we have like 3 roles that we define. Okay. So I'm in charge of revenue, and that's like everything, we have growth in it, dimension, converting that dimension into revenue like sales and success, etc. Then we have product development, which is what you would call the CTO, but is doing a lot of product and architecture and design because AI could help with a lot of these areas. And then we have the third co-founder, which is the jack of all trades. But what he's mainly focused on is building the intelligence backbone so we could scale revenue and product development with intelligence, not headcount. So Ito is the one who is really in charge of building all these agents for me. I'm just, the user of that. But the way that we do it, and I can show you, I can give you like a sneak peek into it, is that we use a lot of our own product to build it. Basically, we use a lot of like Swan to actually, create these automations, etc. So I can show you how you interact with Swan, basically, and how you can create these automations just by chatting with it in Slack.
So your automations though are not using your automations are not using your product, or you're just using a mix of automations. How much of your growth is actually due to using your own product?
Yeah. So most of our growth are attributed to actually using our own product. And the reason is because and I'll give you like, just quick context on what is it that we're doing at Swans, and that will explain why most of the growth is attributed to that. So Swan is like Lovable for go-to-market. Okay. It's an AI go-to-market engineer. It's like a developer that helps sales and marketing and founders turn any go-to-market idea into an agentic workflow in seconds, from prompt to pipeline. So you could really scale demand and revenue with intelligence, not headcount, and iterate on your go-to-market at the speed of thought. So a lot of these revenue-oriented automations are developed by Swan, even like the majority of them, right? Then we have other automations that are more like back office, more R&D, etc. They're powered by other products, not Swan. So Swan lives in Slack, and it's extremely easy to chat with it. Basically, it will notify me about things that I've asked it to notify me, and I can create these workflows from here and refine these workflows. So Swan can tell me that we have a demo lead from a previously closed lost account. It could tell me about that someone submitted an inbound form and was routed to demo, but it was previously closed lost. That's like something that I want Swan to notify me. Can tell me that actions taken, contact and company research completed, CRM node created, and classified it into an ICP demo scenario.
And is Swan actually responding to these people for you?
So Swan can initiate a message on LinkedIn or email if that's what I tell it to, basically. So I can tell it, it's Swan, what is our LinkedIn connection invite requests playbook? What do we do? Yeah. So I can ask it, right? About, how do we handle different situations, etc. And it will go out, research the entire playbook that we have. It will tell me that it's working on it with eyes, and then with a message. And
Oh, wow.
basically it will go back to the backend and search the database that we have, and will get back to me telling me, how do we handle this situation, basically. And I can ping pong on it. I can tell it to change it, and to perform different actions if I'd like. And it's not really an automation. It's actually more of an agentic workflow. So it's all text that is written in different places, and these are agents that are interacting with it. So it would tell me, okay, here's what we do with LinkedIn invite requests. We have separate playbooks for you and Edo that automatically qualify and handle LinkedIn invites. Both playbook follow this general approach. Always accept the invite, qualify the person based on their role, send targeted outreach only to relevant prospects. So then we have, if it's already in the CRM, if it's the GTM persona at ICP company, it would say, accept it, and a DM asking, curious if you guys are using any AI agents in your GTM. If it's a fractional or agency, it would ask more about one of your clients, GTM. If it's an investor, or if it's non-relevant, no, don't pursue, etc. So that's how we handle that. And then I can say, what, Swan, I don't know, let's see. Let's add, if someone has a podcast show in their experience, ask a short conversation opening question about their show. So this is how I just added another automation to it. I just tell it, what, if this happens, this is what I want you to do.
So
That's it. It's that simple.
sorry, you get tons of requests on LinkedIn and tons of messages. Are you actually okaying the agent to respond for you for each one, or does it automatically respond based on your directions, but it's automatic for many of them that fall into certain categories?
Yeah, so it's because the volume is so high in my LinkedIn connection. I get around, sometimes I can get like 300 a day. If I'm a post is successful, it could be like 1,000 a day. So the volume is too high for me to review it manually. So I just created these very nuanced scenarios, and the messages are very, it's very like lightweight conversation starters that could apply to like 99% of the cases. And then 1 out of 200, you said maybe there's an error or something that wasn't as unexpected it to be, but that's okay. I kind of take it as a cost to the volume and the automation levels that I'm running.
And so how do you know, you get so many messages, how do you know who to, like, I can't imagine that you can go into all of these messages. How do you know who to move forward with and who to pursue?
So I have a shout out to Condo, basically. It's superhuman for LinkedIn. And I have different categories here on the left that I try to categorize leads that I respond to, basically. So I have, you see, like if it's a lead, if it's a user, if they're helping me to build my audience, if it's an investor, if it's part of the AMAs that I'm doing, if it's a partner, if they want to get one of the playbooks that I've finished, it's a vendor, a competitor, etc. Right now, I'm pretty behind all of these messages. So you see I have 133 messages waiting for me, but usually I go over them super fast, and I try to categorize everything as I do it. And the way that I work is kind of like, so this is you. So I would just say, sure. Then I will label it audience builder, go out to the next message. This is spam, right? I've already replied to that. Already replied. I can archive it. Thanks for accepting. Great to connect. Does your team work with crypto influencers for marketing? Worth a chat? No, thanks. And then I can actually categorize it as a vendor. I continue, right? That's how I work basically.
Yeah. Okay. So this is amazing but for a lot of people, even getting to the point where they have this much inbound, that's the challenge. So can you show how you actually built the funnel that gets you all of these leads? Can you show how you actually make these LinkedIn posts, what your strategy for posting them has been, how you're doing that? Because for a lot of people, they're like, oh my God, I want that level of inbound. How can I do that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, the best marketing doesn't feel like marketing, right? And what we really worked hard on is about really nailing the narrative for the company. It all starts there. And unfortunately, people always look for these shortcuts and easy, quick, major wins that could transform their entire, lead funnel strategy in one day. But basically, it's more about first building a super powerful narrative. And what we tried doing initially is build the autonomous business narrative and understand the story that we want to share with the world, which is, the old playbook of how you scale a company is dead. This is the new playbook, how you scale a company in an AI native world. And then we coupled that with a very strong narrator. It's because it doesn't matter how strong your narrative is if you don't really have a very powerful narrator, because no one would listen to you. No one would care about what you are saying, your specific message. And so that's why we coupled it with these three founders. It's not their first time. And we're aiming for that moonshot to actually get to $10 million ARR per employee by cracking the code in human AI collaboration. And that gives us the right to tell the story of this new transformative scaling model. And so when you couple the powerful narrative with the powerful narrator, you get a very powerful story that you can share. And then it's just a matter of where your audience is. Ours is on LinkedIn. So that is the channel that we need to put me and the other personal brands out there to tell that story.
That makes sense. But can we actually see like how you are automating, to what level you're automating your organic LinkedIn content and how you're doing it so other people can do that too?
So basically, let me bring it up here. Where is it here? Almost LinkedIn engagement.
Take your time.
Yeah. So we have several different agents that are helping me. So first of all, there's the agent that is helping me write up my posts. Okay. So I want to write about Zuck's recent announcement. What strategic point of views could we have here? This is like their recent announcements. Okay, so I really wanted to talk about that. So I just dumped everything here, and because the AI already has a lot of context on what are my different angles from the narrative of the autonomous business. So in previous posts, etc., would tell me, okay, we can talk about, for example, the human empowerment versus replacement angle. This is your strongest territory. Zuck explicitly calls out the difference between personal empowerment and automating all valuable work. And I would say, yeah, amazing. Let's go with number 2. Suggest 3 different arcs. And so it would tell me these are 3 different arcs to tell that story, right? So we can say Zuck just validated what we've been saying all along. Here's the proof. This is why the timing is perfect for others to follow. Or we can say the AI industry just split into 2 camps. Most companies are choosing the wrong path. Here's how to choose the right one. So I'm guessing that I chose number 2. Right, let's go with number 2. This is a defining moment. Are you betting on AI to replace your team or empower it? Now let's talk about the post structure. So I go about it from very high level strategic overview all the way down to the actual copy itself. So now we're actually talking about hooks here. And so, we're starting to actually write the post itself together. And it's a very collaborative process all the way. It takes me 30 minutes to write a post instead of 2 hours, basically. And this is how I work on the post itself. And that's what helps me create, over 5 million impressions since we started this year. And these viral posts that create tons of pipeline for our business. Then after that, I have more agents in Slack that I can show the audience here how I'm working with, that goes over the engagement with my posts. And then we talked about the LinkedIn connections, then on the website, etc. For each step of the funnel, we have an agent that really helps us automate the work. So should I continue showing the audience, Edward?
Can you say that again? Can I continue showing the audience?
Yeah, should I continue show the agents here?
Yeah. Well, I want to ask you a question about that workflow for Claude. So you are doing that for you're putting up a post a day, or what's your frequency?
3 posts a week. That's my aspiration.
Okay, 3 posts a week. And 6 months ago, did you already have a large existing go-to-market on LinkedIn?
No, just 2,000 connections.
Get out.
Today I have
Get out.
30
Really?
something. Yeah.
You had only 2,000 connections 6 months ago?
Yeah, and now over 30,000.
Oh man. Okay. So take me back to 6 months ago. Well, how are you doing this strategy 6 months ago? Is it like, or have you changed it up over time?
So basically, I just iterated on it for every couple of weeks. Every couple of weeks, you learn something new about what is working better from the hook perspective, or what type of content is working better, different types of angles that I'm playing with, how to write the post, etc. But generally, I started with writing 3 posts a week. Started with a narrative of the autonomous business. What was interesting, actually, the day one, I didn't start with the autonomous business narrative. I really talked about human empowerment in sales in the era of AI, why it's super important to focus on the seller and not on the AI. And that gradually, if not even instantaneously, evolved into the autonomous business narrative, because I started posting about these lovable and bold and these startups that are growing super fast by using AI. And I saw that the audience is responding to this type of content much stronger. And I realized that is where we should double down on. We have that unique angle of talking about autonomous businesses. The audience love it, so we should double down on it. So it really happened in a way of iteration and interacting with the market, you can say.
Yeah, I can tell you firsthand that people are super fascinated by automating workflows. Not just that, but actually like getting huge amounts of ARR with a very low amount of employees. Like I made a reel and a TikTok about how the top AI companies have a staggeringly low amount of employees and are generating so much revenue. And this it was like Midjourney has, I don't want to say, because I don't remember the numbers, but it was like so many millions of ARR, maybe hundreds, and so few employees, like 10 or 30 or something. And it was just across these AI companies, and people were so fascinated by it. So you switched up your content to that. You were talking about, you switched up your subject matter. So you found subject matter that works. And was your workflow in actually creating the inbound, was your workflow there changing?
No, it was the same funnel, basically. So we've doubled down on the founder-led marketing inbound motion from LinkedIn. So it was basically having an agent to help me write the post. Then it was having an agent that could go over these posts and find hot leads that are interacting with it. So we have here on Slack, the post reviewer here. I'm done reviewing I just talked to 3 Series A founders. It runs in a cadence. So it found 14 new interactions and 2 were relevant. So Kartik is the founder, a GTM advisor at Expedite GTM. And that was their comment, is a meaningful comment. It would explain why it's a relevant lead. His experience in revenue marketing and working with startups align well with our target personas, etc. These are his latest comments on LinkedIn. So I can see that he's talking a lot about AI's role in B2B marketing experiments and ABM's limitation in marketing strategy. So I can really reach out to that lead from, ABM, AI, marketing perspective. If I can just talk about that, that will be super interesting to that person. And so it's really easy for me to craft a hyper-personalized outreach to someone that is interacting with my posts. So this is how we, automated a lot of the analysis of the leads that are interacting with different LinkedIn posts that we have. And then, as you saw, it goes basically to the agent that goes over the invites, basically. So if they interacted with the post and sent me an invite, then it will analyze that invite and will digest that and interact with that lead. Then if it went on our website afterwards, so we have basically an agent that can show us that, for example, here, Atera showing continued evaluation interest, 5th website visit. So it's an anonymous visitor from Atera. They're an Israeli B2B SaaS company. They visit our homepage. This is their 5th visit in 2+ months, showing sustained evaluation behavior. And so actions taken, outreach to the VP of growth, CRM update, etc. So I have an agent that goes over the website visitors that didn't convert and can identify them, classify them, and then engage appropriately or based on my guidance. Then if someone requested a demo, so they went on our website and did continue to the next step, so I have an agent that can go over that and route the lead accordingly and tell me what to do with it even. So this was routed to waiting list because they're using Zoho and we're not supporting Zoho CRM, but this basically was routed to me because they are a closed list, right? So super interesting. So that's how we have an agent that goes over the inbound requests. And then we also have an agent that can prep me for my day, basically. And it would tell me, okay, so 10 o'clock, you're invited to record on the Edward show. It could tell me that it's a podcast recording with Edward, a daily marketing podcast focused on SEO and founder stories, yada, yada, yada. Edward has 800+ episodes and maintains a consistent content schedule, 850+ days of daily marketing content. So respect Edward, that is insane. And I can tell it, find me 2 unexpected nuggets about Edward. So he's a viral video pioneer before becoming an SEO expert. Edward was a viral video creator on YouTube who racked up hundreds of millions of views across various accounts. That is insane. His viral content was so successful, it got him featured on major TV shows like 2020, Good Morning America, and The Today Show. And you're also a blockchain gaming co-founder. So you see, that's how we have an agent that really helps me work around my super tight schedule and really help me, come super prepared to these meetings with all the context that I need. And then I have another agent that helps me follow up on these calls, etc. And so that's basically the entire funnel from writing the post all the way to converting that meeting into revenue and even following up later.
That's super cool. And thank you for showing that. I want to go into this in a second, but I want to ask, for your organic LinkedIn posts, the 2 questions that I have are so your frequency, like when you started, your frequency was 3 times a week for these super thoughtful posts that would take you 30 minutes to write with Claude. And also, are you giving Claude any special instructions to think of a good hook? Because as anybody knows from making organic content, the hook is so important.
Yeah. So how do we write hooks? Give me the
And so you
gist.
you have all of this saved in Claude already.
Yeah, exactly. It's a project basically, and I can control the context that we have. So I already wrote like the hook guide basically. So how do you write hooks? So you have line 1, social proof, plus specific result, lead with concrete evidence that something worked. Example from your post, 1 to 200 million in 12 months. I closed 71 deals in the last 60 days, solo. Line 2, the tension, contradiction. Reveal why this result is surprising or counterintuitive. Then line 3, the promise, expectation setting. Tell them exactly what they'll learn. So your hooks works because they're specific, contrarian, dense, and promise-driven. and this is just, basically off the bat of how I gave the AI like a very summarized guide on how to write these hooks.
That is super valuable. How long did it take you to actually make that, to actually come up with this?
So everything is an iterative process. So I can tell you it took me forever, and I started almost at day one. For me, I realized because I know how to work with the AI, we're building AI ourselves, and so I know what does it mean to design the context for the agent to rely on. So I started with working on the let's go back here on the files basically aspect here from day one basically. So you see the lunch post basically. So
Wow.
I started documenting it from day one, everything that I thought that the AI should has as context.
Wow. Very, very cool. What are some of those files that are like the most important, that define your strategy?
So here we have the guide on how to write great hooks, which I've already.
Yeah, that was excellent.
Yeah. We have, what is Swan, right? Super important. Um, then we have the most viral post ever. So I tell the AI that this was the most viral post ever. Basically the list of agents that helped me close 71 deals in 60 days. So this is an example of one of the posts that really was successful. I like to categorize it into building in public posts or framework of the week, etc. So data analysis driven posts. So I give the AI this categorization or labeling that really helps it draw us from his memory. So I can tell it, let's write a data-driven post. So it will take this one. And it has a lot of these numbers in it. So it will understand how I want to write a data-driven post. So it's really about the categorization of everything that really helps me, refine and improve the way that I'm working with the AI over time. So basically, without this, what we're calling this is that our entire marketing strategy is based on founder-led marketing and these viral posts. So we wouldn't be able to grow our business from 0 to almost 200 customers in the short amount of time we did, just the 3 founders, without all that demand. And that demand was generated out of thin air, you can basically call it, because we didn't put any marketing dollars on it. So 0 ad spend, no outbound SDRs or anything like that. So just getting to the point that we're at without it was impossible. So I can attribute all of the business success to that. There was a lot of other key factors: building an amazing product and having a super strong founding team. It was also an important factor, but without the demand generation machine that we built with 0 marketing budget, we wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be talking to you right now.
So basically you're saying it's like a bunch of little wins that compound over time.
Yeah, it's a bunch of little wins, and it's also amazing opportunities that were introduced to us. So talking in super impactful events, and a lot of VCs that are interacting with us and really wants to invest in the business because of the high profile brand that we created, and doors that are opening for us in terms of collaborations. And it's just the difference between being an early stage startup that is begging for people's attention. We're on the opposite side, where everyone that interacts with us are knocking on our doors, requesting to meet with us, talk with us, learn more about what we're doing. And so the dynamics in the meetings are so different. It's not like, okay, why are you wasting my time selling me this product? It's actually, I'd love to hear more. Thank you for giving us the time. I know how busy you are. You're just 3 founders, so I really appreciate it. Let's try to make the most of this 30 minutes. So it's amazing to see the difference in how they are reacting to what we have to say and want to learn more about our product.
Yeah.
So it's everywhere.
When you have a hot startup, it's the best thing. We invented play to earn in crypto. We made the first play to earn game, and I know those reactions from investors very well. It's but okay, so I want to ask you, for Swan, you showed your workflow of how you're working through leads. But are you actually like, because what's your pricing for Swan? Is it like medium price, or is it super high where it's like, okay, it makes sense if I'm personally responding to people because like it's a it's a high price.
Yeah. So first of all, we are very focused on SMBs. Okay, so one is our goal is to build an autonomous business for autonomous businesses. We want to transform other businesses to become autonomous as well. And so we don't work with huge enterprises because we don't believe that they can't go through this transformation. It's too late for them. But if you're up to 200, 300 people organization, you can still make that transformation. We're working with founder-led sales as well. People that are in the founder-led stage with just, one or two people using Swan. And accordingly, the price point starts at $99 a month. Okay, so it's an extremely low entry point for the business to start with Swan. And it's usage-based. You pay credits to Swan. And if you can decide whether to run a highly automated business on Swan, and you can decide where you want that human in the loop, but the pricing is really adjusted so that small businesses can start using Swan, understand where it is valuable to them to use AI, where it is valuable to them to put the human in the loop, and then build these workflows accordingly.
Yeah. So are like, I can't imagine that you are responding to just manually responding to just like any lead. You're probably only responding, correct me if I'm wrong, you're probably only responding to the people who would represent larger purchase orders.
So what we've realized is that when you go for these exponential growing marketing strategies, so part of it is looking at your story as a viral word of mouth amplifier, basically. And so I love to talk to people if I believe that maybe they don't have a large purchasing order, but maybe they are a node in a network that can impact other nodes as well. And so I can spend time, people think I'm crazy, but I can spend sometimes 2 hours, 3 hours of my day, and I don't have a second to breathe, but like 3 hours of my day talking to people that are not going to buy Swan, and they don't have any direct impact on the business, but they can share our story to other people that I think would be very impactful. And that these people will tell it to other people, etc. And so it's not only about the posts. I try to drive that viral growth of our narrative, of our story through every interaction that I have, basically.
Yeah, micro influencers and influencers for sure. So you're strategic in who you are spending, because I mean, I have to ask this because you have so much inbound and you want to continue to scale. So you are strategic with who you are interacting with, the leads that you are interacting with.
Yeah, so we have a high qualification criteria for passing through the demo request threshold that the agent routes you. So usually we prefer talking only to companies that use HubSpot and Slack and have some meaningful volume to their sales operations. But we always think about what's our ICP and how we want to double down on that. And eventually, what we believe is that we're not trying to build a business that would be capped with 3 people. It's not about that. It's about getting to $10 million ARR per employee in a scalable way, actually. So what we're trying to do here is crack the code on businesses that understand human AI collaboration and can scale these employees that could generate a ton of money for the organization. So an autonomous business is actually about autonomous employees, not about the autonomous AI aspect here. So we try to scale that to grow to a bigger company eventually, but remaining with our DNA of $10 million ARR per employee.
Right. Finding the right workflows so that you can scale effectively. I totally feel that. Um, and so do you actually have AI responding to people in order to qualify them?
Not at the moment, but it's not something that I think we will go there. Basically, it will be not just a generic AI, it will be my digital clone. So I already have that. I have a digital clone that you can chat with on ChatGPT. It's called Autonomous. And basically, it does part of that qualification and knows about the product and knows about Swan, and it can give you a lot of context. So it's not, and I don't like to look at it from a qualification perspective because it sounds like it's one-sided. But the truth is that buyers today, they want to learn a lot about your product without talking to you, basically. And if you give that to them, then they would love to use it. So if you have a very good digital clone of myself on the website 24/7 available for them to ask questions about the product, about pricing, etc. And in that process, we would also learn about them. And if they are a good fit to us, then that's a win-win situation. So we already have that in some capacity. It's very limited. It's not on the website, but we will transition it to the website gradually.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's cool. All right. Is there anything anything that you want to share before we head off?
Nope, not so much. Well,
That was
I'm
awesome.
okay on my side.
I really like the breakdown of showing Claude especially and how you're making these LinkedIn posts. I mean, it's so cool that you went from 2,000 connections and followers to how much did you say you have now in 6 months?
33.
Yeah, 33 and a million ARR in 6 months. So that's amazing. Thank you so much for showing this. Where can people find you to learn more? Your LinkedIn,
So
of
first of all,
course.
LinkedIn
Yeah.
is the best place, but I have also a digital clone on ChatGPT if you want to ask me some questions. And I have a newsletter if you want to get a back seat to how we're scaling Swan, the lessons learned, the wins and losses. So you can just follow along that newsletter where I share these every week. So you can subscribe to it. It's called The Big Shift.
And these links will be in the description for the episode as well. Amos, thank you again for joining the show and for showing
Thank
us
you so
all of
much,
that
Edward.
stuff. And for everybody watching and listening, this is episode 814 of The Edward Show. 814 days in a row doing this podcast. No days missed. We're on a streak. Thank you so
Amazing.
much. Yeah.
Respect.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.